Tabs bent, and let's get the heat shield. Now, not only did Retrobranch,
I never found out why he chose me to share his secret. Perhaps because we had similar dreams. But this was twice as fast. Twice as powerful as anything I'd ever thought possible. Though what that meant, I could never have foreseen. Incredible graphics and colors, so many colors. Our world would never be the same again.
Hello and welcome to another Retro Crazy. Do apologise if I seem or sound a little bit off. I'm suffering from a very sore throat and a little bit of a blocked nose, so we will struggle on. Well, today, if you hadn't guessed, I'm going to be looking at this Amiga CD32. Now, these days, these are going for quite a bit of money, especially when they're boxed. Unfortunately, there's no insert in the box, everything's just loose. However, I bought this over a decade ago, and here's the scary bit. I bought it when I was out in France, and I paid a whopping €15 for it with supposedly 10 games. They mean 10 discs. It's 9 titles. Absolutely ridiculous. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crack this open. I'll do that off camera because this box is, well, fairly large and there's not enough room between the box and the camera. So the next time you see it, everything will be out on the disc. And there we are. That's everything that came with it, other than the games. They're completely separate at the moment. But let's have a look at what we got. Well, we got the original CD32, and it still has plastic covering both the window and the logo, which is rather nice. Itself, it's in quite nice condition. It's a little bit dusty, it's going to need a clean. I also have the original Commodore CD32 pad, and yeah, this one apparently feels okay. I know they suffered from breakage. That seems okay. It also came with a boxed Competition Pro Super CD32 control pad, and that is also in there with its manual, so that's quite nice because from what I've heard, these are a nightmare to play on. And then we have a whole bunch of other stuff. I've got a set of cables, I've got the standard power brick complete with European plug, and I have the video cable which goes to SCART, which is quite nice, and then all the manuals, consumer information, introduction, and what is effectively probably the spec sheet. And of course this is a French machine, so the spec sheet is in French. So where to start with all this? Silly question. We're going to start with the power supply.
Power supplies are dangerous. There are components in these that can hold a charge long after they're unplugged from the mains. So if you're unsure what you're doing, go seek professional advice.
So to get into the power supply, there are 4 Phillips screws So let's pop these out. And there we are in. You can see we've got a number of electrolytics to replace, and definitely have to replace that one because that's bulged. The top of that is slightly domed. So yeah, anybody that says you don't need to worry about electrolytic caps, not necessarily true. Right, let's replace all these. Let's make this a little bit safer. And with the caps replaced, I'm now going to give the casing a good clean. I'm going to clean the cables because they are exceptionally grubby, and then I can put it back together. Complete, all back together and looking so much better. Now I'm going to have to go and look and see what the pinout is, and then let's check what the output is. So here we are, ready for testing this power supply, and as usual, first test is going to be switching it on. Okay, that's good. No pops, no bangs, no fizzes yet. Now I'm using a piece of heat shrink just to insulate against the ground, and that means I can go in and probe. So we should have 5 volts here, and we should have 12 here. Output absolutely spot on, exactly where it should be. Power supply is done. With the power supply done, time to move on to the CD32 itself. I can see 1 screw, 2 screws, 3, 4, 5. I have no idea if there's any under the feet. I'm also going to remove the one from the expansion bay just in case there's something under there. It does look like there's maybe a small break or crack in the case, so I'll just need to be careful when I pop this apart. Nope, missed one. So inside I can see a ribbon cable down here and 1 main cable going to a board. However, there does seem to be a connector down here, so let's pop this apart carefully. Now we can see the CD drive in the top, a couple of motors. I'm not seeing any capacitors at all. I'm going to guess we've got a circuit board under here, and we've got the top panel controls, complete with looks like that's meant to make connection with the lower frame here to make an earth. So I need to strip all this off because obviously this will need cleaned, and I notice the spring clip for mounting the rear screw. So let's pop this to the side just at the moment. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the bent over tabs, and 1, 2 screws at the angle I'm at. Not sure if there's another one down. Yep, 3 screws, the other one tucked down here. So let's get these out, these tabs bent, and let's get the RF shield out. And now with the RF shield top cover off, we can see the main board. It's actually very clean, and ironically the caps on it don't look like they have been leaking. Oh my goodness, miracle. I'm still not going to trust these. They are notorious for leaking, but dear goodness, the number of them. Right, let's get the rest of this out. So these phono outputs, they're in lovely condition. I'm not sure this has had much use. Wow, okay. There are sprung tabs which are gripping on, and that stops the board from coming out. I'm just going to try and get underneath them and bend them out slightly. And there we are, it's out. Yes, those clip points on the phonos are much harder to get out than you would believe. However, look at this. This is, I believe, the last revision board they did on the CD32, and you'll notice the name Spellbound. That was the code name for the project when it was being done. So this is absolutely gorgeous. So why am I going to replace the caps if they're in such nice condition? As I've said many times before, these are well over 20 years old. They are notorious over time for leaking, so they need to go. However, this time I am not going to be replacing like for like, and I know that's unusual for me. However, before Retrobench closed its doors, which is a shame because they were an absolutely superb resource, I picked up this, and this is an organic polymer cap set for the CD32. But more importantly, the organic polymer caps should never need replaced. So this is pretty much as you're going to get a permanent fix. Not only did Retrobench do these amazing cap kits, they also provided you with a full sheet and locations with important information, and this is obviously for Rev 4.1, which is what I have, but they also have them for the Rev 3 and 4. So everything came color coded. So for example, I can see if I look, the green ones, so it's these ones I'm going to be replacing. Retrobench actually marked them as well. So these were the green ones. They should be 4.7 UF 35 volts, which is what's listed, and 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it makes doing this part relatively easy. It means you can strip out every single cap, make sure all your traces are fine, and not worry about a thing. Right, well, I think I'm just going to remove every single cap off of this board, and that's going to take me a bit of time. Yeah, bear with me while this goes on. Well, that was fun, but I did have 2 exploding caps. 2 of them decided that they did not want to remain on the board. One actually exploded once I'd popped it into this stack, so that was quite fun. Landed in my lap. They can build up a bit of pressure before they pop. So the question is, how well did the plastics survive? Now, you would have noted I covered them in tin foil and then Captain tape. That's fine. That's fine. And the one that pretty much had the direct heat on it, or the ones, are the phonos. So, lovely. They're absolutely spot on. Right, well, I've got a whole pile of caps that I want to get rid of, and now a lot of cleaning up. So that's all the caps back on. What I did is, once everything was on, I went over with some no clean flux and I redid every single point on the board, making sure that all the caps got a little bit, so that all the solder points are nice and shiny and absolutely fine. Now what I am going to do is I am going to go over all of these. I'm going to compare to this, make sure the right values are there, the polarity's round the right way, and assuming that's all correct, then this can go to the side and clean the case, and then I can reassemble. And this is exactly why you should check, because this one single cap is facing the wrong direction. That should be positive on the left and negative on the right, and if we just confirm, should be on the right. This is why you double check. So let me quickly swap this round. So with that all done, we can pop the main board to the side, and we can bring in the top cover, which contains the CD drive and some of the controls. So let's first of all pop these out. Now while I can see there is a channel on the top for the bar to come out, there doesn't appear to be a corresponding channel anywhere else, and I really don't want to force this, because forcing it is going to break it. Now I would have thought that this end screw might have allowed the rod to come out, but that does not appear to be the case. So I am indeed loath to try and do anything, just in case this breaks. Okay, I'm going to have to clean this in a slightly different way, being very, very careful not to get any water in here, because that will start to rust. Now, once I've done cleaning, I will actually just run isopropyl alcohol in. That'll disperse any water that does get in and try and cut that to a minimum. Now the laser itself is in really nice condition. The lithium grease is still intact. I don't think this has really had much use. What I am going to do is pop the case off. We'll see if there are any caps in here that need done. And here we go, the circuit boards that just keep on giving loads and loads and loads of caps. My goodness. Right, let me get a note of the values and see what I can do. And with the laser module all recapped, well, time to put everything back together. And there we are, all back together, hopefully working, everything doing what it's supposed to. Reset, we've got a door. I need to clean the laser with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, but other than that it's looking good. Right, let's pop this to the side because I can't quite test yet. So before I can test, assuming it's working, I'll need to look at this, and it is exceptionally grubby and grimy. So it's going to need stripped and cleaned. I can see what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, maybe one, yeah, possibly one under there. So I need to get this apart. So let's pop this apart and see what we can do to tidy this up.
So that's us in. We've got one cap to replace, but look at the factory bodges. That's a very obviously cut trace there because it's right through into the fibre of the board. Yeah. Wow. So this all needs a clean because it is quite grimy. There's marks, there's a little bit of surface damage from some sticky residue by the looks of it, but overall not too bad. The plastics will all need to go for a good clean. What I'm really pleased at is apparently these very thin tabs and areas can break, and none of that has happened on this one, so I'm going to be extra careful with this. But let's get everything away. We'll get these cleaned. Again, hot soapy water, some oxy action and some detergent. These will be cleaned with isopropyl alcohol because they're still in quite good condition, and one 4.7 UF 16 volt cap to replace. And there we are, that's it all done. I would say it was all shiny, but for whatever reason this area seems to have been stained or scraped or whatever, because that just will not come off. I'll maybe invest in some plastics and see if that will do anything to try and lift this off. All the buttons feel fine, and yeah, it feels like it should work. Now I don't think I've got a lot of choice. Time for testing. So here we are at testing. I've got the Amiga CD32 already wired up. I've got its original AV cable in, which goes to SCART, controllers in. I've got a copy of Nigel Mansell's World Championship which came with it. So that's all ready. I have no idea if this power switch is on or off at the moment. I've got to assume it's off. Well, let's find out what happens. I really hate this bit because, yeah, have I done something wrong? So, power on at the wall. I've got no LEDs, so I'm going to assume that power switch is off. Here goes nothing. We've got power LED. Please do something more. Yes! It lives. And that's a beautifully clear picture. Okay. Oh, I'm excited. Okay. Let's try Nigel Mansell's. Disc is spinning. I really want to bite my nails if I really had many. Oh, amazing. Let me turn the volume up a little. I've never owned a CD32. I've never seen one running. This is really quite neat. If you couldn't tell by how excited I am. Play pause, let's see. Oh, yeah. Button works. Oh, so far. Okay, let's just jump straight in. I've no idea what the controls are, but I mean, what's the worst that could go wrong? Random course. Red seems to select fine. Let's just go straight to qualifying. I mean, what's the worst that can happen here? Okay, so yellow is accelerate. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't great, but hey, I never said I could race this. I've got a chicane coming up. Okay. Well, left and right works, I know that much. Yeah, it's so much easier when you can see the track. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember ever playing this. I was more a Formula 1 by Jeff Crammond. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. Oh, I've passed a car. Have I done something? No, I haven't qualified yet. I'm still going. Yay! I'm in awe. Like this kind of auto drives as well. Let's find out when I get to this corner. Do the wheels turn right? No, but it's so quiet. Once you put it into a corner, it does seem to stay in the corner. So if I hit right on this corner, see, it stays in the corner. Okay, sorry, I'm leaning off to the side. Well, no, went the wrong way. Yay. Okay, so paused. Red and blue to quit. It works. Everything works. Oh, I am so happy about this. This is just amazing. Does reset work? Oh, it does as well. Oh, this is just absolutely amazing. I mean, the number of caps on this. I'm so glad I spotted the one that was the wrong way around. That could have been a disaster. Well, yeah, I really need to speak, don't I? Because I'm so stunned. Well, thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Remember, these are my own systems. I'm not doing this for anybody else other than me, and I'm sharing it. Yeah, I love this. I love this. I never, as I said, had a CD32. But yeah, well, please remember to use the thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. And thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next Retro Crazy.